you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. My name is Katie Germain.
I'm Julie.
Hi, nice to meet you. So I'm basically just going to go over a few things before we start our session, just so you know. I am a college in interviewing skills at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. I am required to practice counseling skills with volunteers such as yourself. I very much appreciate your willingness to work with me on my class assignments. You may choose to talk about topics of real concern to you, or you may prefer to role play an issue that does not necessarily relate to you. Here are some dimensions of our work together this session. So as a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality. However, anything you say to me in this practice session will remain confidential, except for certain exceptions that state law requires me to report. Even as a student, I must report a serious issue of harm to you, indications of child abuse or neglect, other special conditions as required by the state of Illinois. So as you can see, I will be recording our sessions for my personal listening and learning. If you become uncomfortable at any time, we can turn off the recorder, and you can just let me know. The recordings may be shared with my supervisor, Dr. Keller, and also could potentially be shared with peers for review and critiquing. You'll find that recording does not affect our practice sessions as long as you and I are both comfortable. Without additional permission, recordings and any written transcripts are destroyed at the end of the course. So I am a student practicing to become a school psychologist, so I cannot do formal counseling or cannot offer formal counseling. This practice session helps me learn interview skills. So I may ask you at the end of the session for your feedback about my performance and what you find very helpful. So I may give you a form that asks you to evaluate how helpful I was. So tell me, why are you here today?
So I've been feeling really depressed. I've been extremely tired, and I've just been losing interest really with everything. And I can't quite understand why. I'm like crying a lot. I'm just not interested in anything anymore.
Okay, so you've been crying a lot and you're not interested in a lot of things anymore. Tell me, what triggers some of those feelings for you, the crying? And
I think whenever my anxiety gets really bad is when I start to go back into a depression. I would say it's like a stable state of emptiness, but overall it's my anxiety that would trigger that. So I would say like any type of argument with like a friend or just my like own emotions.
Okay, so you have a lot of emotions and anxiety. Tell me a little more about your anxiety and how long you've been dealing with it.
So I would say I've had my anxiety since I was in high school. I don't quite know when it started to develop, but it just started to affect me like in high school, and I wanted to leave class primarily just because of it, because I couldn't be there. And now that I'm in college still, it's starting to affect my schoolwork just because it's difficult to concentrate because of my anxiety.
Okay, so you've been having anxiety for quite some time now, since high school and then in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, tell me, how do you think it affects your assignments and classwork and even out of classwork? Some interesting.
I'd say that my anxiety affects me in class just by not being able to concentrate as much, just because I'm so focused on my anxiety and trying to control it, but it's difficult. And outside of class, I would say it's difficult to deal with it just because I'm not on medication or anything like that. I don't like it, but it affects my friendships, I would say, just because I tend to isolate myself, and that could just be because of my anxiety and depression. But it's definitely difficult, and it affects me in my normal life and my school life, yeah.
Okay, so you said it affects your friendships. Tell me a little bit more about your friendships.
I would say that it affects my friendships by just lashing out when I don't intend to, because of my own internal stuff. So I have a tendency to lash out on people in my life when I don't intend to, so that's definitely something I'd like to work on. And especially if my support system, if they don't understand the anxiety, then it just makes my anxiety worse. Yeah.
So you want your support system to understand your anxiety more. Who are some other support systems that you have in your life? besides maybe friends?
I would say my parents, specifically my dad. My sister, I can depend on her. But other than that, primarily just my friends.
Okay. So you're
And my coworkers, I would say, because it's a very understanding environment.
okay. Tell me about your environment.
So I work at a domestic violence shelter. So I work with a lot of people who understand trauma and anxiety and stuff like that associated. So it's a very understanding environment in the sense of if I am feeling anxious or frustrated, that I can talk to them about it and they'll understand. So it's a very supportive environment.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Supportive environment, and that might help you learning about other people's anxiety to maybe help your own.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Okay. Well, that's cool. Well, it does sound like you have a lot of support in your life, and you could always. I'm glad you're talking to me right now about your anxiety and issues that you may have. Maybe we can work on talking to your support system about how they can help your anxiety.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be helpful, I think,
Yeah.
especially because it's important, I think, to be able to talk to the people in your life about your issues.
Yeah, I agree. And tell me, why do you think it's important to talk about your issues with people you love? Or
It's important because then you can be open and be yourself in terms of how you're feeling, and if you can't talk about your feelings and why you are the way that you are, then it can cause you to feel kind of isolated, I would say. And obviously being in isolation is not good for anyone.
Right.
So it just helps grow your relationships, I think. So it's definitely important, at least for myself, to do so.
So you're working on growing your relationships more and being more open.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little more about that.
I just think overall it's important to have an open and honest relationship, I would say, or with your friendships and any other type of relationship in your life. And if you don't have that solid ground and honesty and trustworthy and just being able to talk to them about stuff, then I don't see how that a friendship or relationship can grow, just because it can cause more issues, I feel like. That's definitely where I'm stuck right now.
Okay, so you feel like you're stuck because you just want to grow with your relationships and you don't want to isolate yourself.
Yeah.
And that's definitely understandable.
Yeah.
I think we can work on isolation a lot and how we can open up with our feelings and maybe work on how you can talk to friends and families about anxiety and
Yeah, that'd be really helpful. I'd like to do that.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So I'm glad we were able to talk about this right now. Unfortunately, our time is running out. Is there anything else you wanted to touch base on this session, or we can talk about it next session?
I think that's right now. I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's definitely noted, and I'm very happy you were able to open up to me and let me know what you're dealing with. So it was very nice meeting you. I hope to see you again next week,
Yeah, of
and we can
course.
make another appointment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.